Hi, and welcome along to the All Gunz Blazing podcast. Welcome along with my man DT is here with me. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Yeah. You normally kick it like that.
Come on. We've been doing this long enough now. You should know how to press the button, man. You're just deliberately hiding it at the back. I'm all right. I'm good. I'm all right. A lot of people seem to think that I would have spent the last few days, in a padded room, and I'm kind of like not myself, and I'm so angry about Arsenal and everything else. But I'm all right. I'm good, man.
I'm going to ask you about that. By the way, what do you think of the new Arsenal kit that I've got on here? What do you reckon? Better than last year?
Nah, not better than last year for me. I think this might take a little while to get used to. It's all the different shades of red. I understand it because Arsenal have predominantly always had different shades of red right from the very beginning when we had red currant. So I get what they're saying. I do like the sleeves and the detail and stuff that's on there. I'm not too sure about the cup numbers and the lettering as well. The font that they used is very, I don't know what I could describe that one as. It's just very old-fashioned type. It's very, just seems different. It's very different. It's one of those that it will grow on.
I like it. Yeah, I reckon it's not like last year's one was just like instant. Actually, a guy sent me something, right? He put it in the comments of one of the videos. He said that if there was a league of kits last year, we would have won the league.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'd have won the league.
As well.
Yeah. I reckon this year they probably made kits to match our league position, which is kind of in the middle. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of like, yeah, maybe up here, but maybe down there. Let's just stick you in the middle.
I'll tell you what, I think it's going to sell really well. It's going to be a grower, and they're going to be wearing this, of course, in the last game against Watford, and they're going to be wearing it in the FA Cup final as well. So we're going to get to those. First of all, the guys from 888 Sport asking us another question this week. Check it out.
I make this case because I believe it. I believe it so passionately that I think you're all going to disagree with me. So I'm going to have to get in first to try and go 1-0 up.
There's only one reason you're saying what you're about to. It's what you're wearing.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
No.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
The second best player in world football is Kevin De Bruyne.
The player of the season is Jordan Henderson.
I know why you're saying that, because obviously of what Liverpool have gone on to achieve. But my problem with Henderson is, I say a problem, it's for Liverpool, they've got a very functioning midfield. If you look at their individuals on paper, there's a lot of other midfielders that are better than them. But as a cohesive unit for Klopp, you'll do well to get into that team and work how he wants it to.
So what do you reckon? Player of the season?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Ooh.
For me, all day. Let me get this very straight before Liverpool fans start going mad. Luckily, most of them have probably got hangover at the moment, so they probably might not even be watching this because they're celebrating lifting the trophy, and fair play to them. Jordan Henderson's had a fantastic season. Captain of the side, but for me, no. He's not better season than Kevin De Bruyne. He's not better than Kevin De Bruyne. That's my personal opinion.
I don't even go for De Bruyne. I go for a Liverpool player. I go for Sadio Mane.
Yeah, well, you just took the words out of my mouth.
This season, he's been exceptional. He's been the go-to guy. Anytime they had a game that, they really needed a big goal in, he was the guy who came up with it. He's been so consistent this season. If I didn't give it to Mane, I think I'd be giving it to Van Dijk, right? Before I give it to, Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson's been excellent, and he's a great captain. His captaincy skills have been fantastic. But I think if you're saying actual player of the season, I go Mane. De Bruyne's a good shout as well, but to me, Liverpool won the league, so I go Mane. Definitely go Mane. But what do you guys think? The link is in the description. Get over there. Let them know that AFTV sent you. Leave a comment and say who your player of the season should be. Should be Aubameyang. Not quite. Ozil. Oh my God!
Stop! You can't help yourself. Just stop.
Oh my God, man! What's happening with you know what? Ozil and Dossiers. I was the game the other night. I said to myself, if those two are not in that team, that's it. Curtains. I mean, we already know it's curtains, but for me, that's it. Absolute curtains if they're not in that team. They didn't even make the bench in a team where we rested so many players. They're gone, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. It's done. I don't even want to talk about them anymore until, they're gone. We find out the exact situation because we're still running off speculation more than anything because none of us actually know. And we're kind of having to read between the lines, and it's very clear what those, is in between those lines. So, yeah, they're gone. Okay. They're gone.
So after such a brilliant victory against Manchester City, that had us all thrilled watching it there at the Box Park, it was absolutely brilliant. We were buzzing. First sort of big high, really, for the season, that game. You know what I mean? To get to the FA Cup final against all the odds. Then we just had a little simple game on the Tuesday against Aston Villa. And in typical Arsenal style, we were shocking. Not even a shot on target in the whole game. But what did you... I mean, you just said that you've still, since that game, been relaxed and cool. So for you, did it not matter?
Every game matters. Let's get that right. But in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture... is that Aston Villa had a lot more to play for than us. You can sit there and say, yeah, we could possibly finish above Spurs. But let's be real. The season we've had, we just look like idiots celebrating finishing above them. Because it's been poor. If you would have added an FA Cup to that as well, then we could have kind of, maybe rubbed it in a little bit. And we still can, despite finishing below them. But it's been a dreadful season. There's no getting away from it. We're where we are for a reason. We have to take this one on the chin. It's been an embarrassment. It's the first time we finished outside the top 6 in 25 years. So let's pull it into context. This has been something that's been on the horizon for a long time. And I feel that, this might be what we needed as a club to wake us up, the owners and everything else. I keep referring back to the interview that I did at Manchester City a few years back when Wenger was in charge still for his last season. And I said, we're a top 8 club. And at the moment, we're not even a top 8 club. We're a top 10. Do you know what I mean? And I said to everyone, lower your expectations because you're going to get hurt. And I could see what was coming. And I feel that we needed to take this smack to try and realize just how far we've fallen. And sometimes you've got to... take that step back before you realize. And, I'm going to listen to what Mikel Arteta says. He's been very transparent in what he says in terms of transfers and his plans and everything else. He said very clearly after the Aston Villa game, when asked about the plane that flew over the stadium, he said that the message to the fans is to believe him in what he's telling you, which is that the owners and the likes of Edu, etc., are all behind him. They've drawn up plans for what they want. Just understand that it's a process and that right now you've got to wait. We're not just going to click our fingers and sign this player tomorrow because everyone says so. There's a process to it and it's going to take time. But he's very happy with what plans they've set out. And it's now down to those people above him to go and get those plans, put into place for the manager. And I'm believing what he's saying and I'm listening to what he's saying. And then you add to that what I've seen from him in terms of, certain matches and the certain way we play and the certain way we're able to do things differently. It bodes well for the future. Some people out there will want to throw around stupid stats and compare him to Emery and all this.
There was that. I got sent that the other day where it was like Arsenal manager's first 19 league games. And he's got the worst stats. He's got only 30 points. Emery had 38. Wenger had 33. Bruce Rioch had 33.
But this is the thing. Yeah, but Robbie, this was the thing. The picture that was going round was cut off at Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery. It was comparing them two. The chart compared right down to George Graham. And a lot of people may not have seen this, right? But I'll get into this, right? Mikel Arteta, in the first 19 games as manager, has won 8, drawn 6, lost 5. He's got 30 points. You're looking at Arsene Wenger in his first 19 games. He only got 33 points. So he only got 3 points more.
Yeah,
right?
similar. 1-8, the same amount of wins.
Yeah. And then
lost 4.
To put that into perspective for everyone watching as well, Bruce Rioch got 33 points in his first 19 games as Arsenal manager. All right. Now, George Graham as well. What was he? 38 points. Now, the one thing that's different to this year, right, is that first and foremost, Mikel Arteta overtook Arsenal halfway through a season. All right, halfway through. He overtook a side that were an absolute shambles. They were falling apart. Our season was literally falling apart before our very eyes. You remember what it was like, Robbie? It was poisonous. On the pitch, off the pitch, it was horrid. Mikel Arteta's come in, and the first thing he's had to do is try and repair the fractures within the dressing room. Okay, that's the first thing he needs to do, because bringing a new manager into such a broken dressing room ain't going to repair things. It might get you through a couple of games here or there, but the old frailties will still come back once those fractures are exposed again. So he's had to go in there, and he's had to go and implement his own way. And on top of that, he has to implement his own style, his own philosophy. He has to give certain players enough rope to see if they hang themselves, and some of them have. And then he has to realize which players that he can rely on, which players he wants to take forward for the future, which players are surplus to requirements. And you could say Socrates, players like that, fall into the latter category of surplus to requirements. So he's had to do all of this. Then on top of it, the guy catches coronavirus, right? Then we lose football for 3 months or so. Not just lose football, but no training, no face-to-face, no nothing, not being able to do
well. And he was doing very well. Hadn't lost the game this year up until when the lockdown came, remember?
Exactly. So he wasn't able to go into training. He wasn't able to implement his own ideas. You can sit there on Zoom meetings as much as you want or anything else. It's still not the same as face-to-face contact and actually showing what you can do. He then had the baptism of fire coming back from lockdown with Manchester City, and everything that could have gone wrong that game went wrong. We've already gone through that. The other difference is right now is that he's literally playing a game every 3 days or so. Now, some people will say, well, what about when you're in the Europa League or anything else? Well, there's a complete and utter difference to that, because when you play in the Europa League on a Thursday, for example, you will rest pretty much all your main players in the Europa League until you get to around about near the quarterfinals when it becomes serious. All the way through, you're playing kids. Whoever you're playing at the weekend on a Sunday, your main players will be rested. They will be fresh for that game because they will. Here, you can't rest those players because every game is important. So you can't rest. We're having to play Liverpool on a Wednesday and then Man City in an FA Cup final on a Saturday. 2 of the best teams in Europe. And you're asking us to do that. And we've got injuries. We've got the current squad that we've got. And people want to make comparisons. There's only one reason why anyone would possibly want to make a comparison, and that's to be noticed, because they've got an agenda. All right. How on earth can you actually go for Mikel Arteta when he's actually showing what he can do with the tools he's got at the moment? So if you actually add to those tools, it actually looks promising. Let's go and have a look at the 19 games, because I'm fully understanding that if you play the first 19 games of a season, you will play everybody in the league once. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But the likelihood is that you won't be playing all these big teams crammed into 3 weeks, right? You will have Liverpool at one point, and then maybe 3 weeks later, you'll have Manchester United. And then in between that, you might play some teams that are in the relegation zone or anything else, right? let's have a look at it since Mikel Arteta's come back from lockdown, all right? We played Manchester City, okay? The gimme, which you've got to look at and hold your hands up to, is Brighton, all right? Then we played Sheffield United away. Go and tell me a team that's found Sheffield United away easy this season, because nobody's found it easy, all right? Then we had to play Wolves away. Go and tell me who's found it easy at Wolves away this season. They've beaten Manchester City, amongst others there. Man United struggled there. Very difficult place to go to. We then play Tottenham away. Regardless of what people might think, it's a North London derby. It's a huge game. Huge game.
Tough game.
Yeah. Then we've got to play Liverpool. Then we've got to play Man City in the FA Cup. Also, remember, since he's took charge, he's played Chelsea twice. He's played Manchester United, Man City twice. Give the man some respect, man. Seriously. Look at the
does it worry you that against some of these little teams, though, since the lockdown, he's slipped up? I mean, against Brighton, again against Villa the other day, a very poor. I mean, all right, I understand. You're right. You know, I mean, it's two. You know, I mean, you can't even just say 2 games different. You could look at it and say the last 5 games back to back. Wolves, Leicester, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Manchester City. It doesn't get more difficult than that.
No, and also, Robbie, the other thing as well, can I just say as well, Sheffield United away, Wolves away, Tottenham away, Man City, doesn't matter where you play them, it's going to be difficult, but that was a neutral venue. Liverpool was the only one at home out of those 5. You know, have some respect. Yes, there is concerns over certain things that happen in those games. We struggle against low blocks, teams that set up the way that Aston Villa do. And we've had that problem predominantly for a long time when teams put 10 men behind the ball.
Why did he play 3 at the back against Villa?
Well, this is the thing, yeah. Part of the process is that he's going to learn along the way. He's going to learn what his players can do and what they can't do. I honestly believe that Mikel Arteta doesn't want to play a 3-4-3. His formation is a 4-3-3. All right. He established very quickly, you know what? I can't play this formation with what I've got. All right. It's very evident I can't do it. I need to try and protect this back line as best I can because it's not great. All right. So let's go and have a look. Now, let's compare how many goals we've conceded since lockdown to other teams. All right. We're actually right up there. We've actually not done too bad at all. All right. And you look at what goes on in certain games, and I feel that he's just like, it ain't broke. I'm not going to try and fix it, which is why he left it the way that it was. Hindsight, yeah, you could have probably went as a flat 4, but also at the same time, he's probably looking at it and saying, I don't trust some of these players. I don't trust them. I haven't got enough in me to feel that they can go out and do the job that I want. And also as a team, if you've been training rigidly for the last few weeks in this way, then why change it again? We've just beaten Liverpool and Man City. So, you know, if he would have changed it and it went wrong, everyone would have said, why didn't you stick with what you had? He can't win. But what I say is that it's all part of that process. We always keep referring ourselves to Liverpool, all right, as the perfect, you know, model that we want to try and be. Because when Jurgen Klopp took over, his first season there, never took over from the start. Let's get that right as well. It was a lot earlier than what Arteta took over us, but took him to 8th place in the league. All right. There were results in there where they drew at home to West Brom and they all went and lifted their hands up to the fans and everyone was laughing. Do you remember that? I remember Steven Gerrard's last game. I think they were 5-0 down at half time to Stoke City. Yeah, I think they conceded 4 against, who was it? There was a game where they got 4 battered past them or something. But there were a lot of results in that first period under Jurgen Klopp where you would go, where there was somewhere you go, oi, that's a good result. You know what I mean? And there was some going, Same old Liverpool. Oh, yeah. Because it's all part of the process. Jurgen Klopp had to work with what he had. Mikel Arteta now has to work with what he has. People seem to keep forgetting that because it's nearly August, maybe they're thinking this is pre-season and we're about to start a new season. It's not. It's last season. He can't do anything. When this summer comes and he can go out and buy his players, people will refer to, him tying down Cedric or David Luiz, etc. I ain't got no problem with that. I say that the thing with David Luiz is that he's always got a mistake in him, all right? But he also showed against Man City how good he can be and how good he will probably be behind the scenes, for the young players and helping them as well, which is crucial. And because we've got a lot of youngsters in the side and we've got the likes of Saliba coming in. So what I'm saying is give him the summer transfer. He needs a good.
So that guy flew the plane over. Was he right?
I don't blame him. I think it's what I will say is that until we see the owner back the manager like this summer, then the fans have got a right to put the pressure on. And the one thing that I think that we get caught up in as fans might be media hype. And, we all hear about £50 million budgets and stuff like that, and we all just lose it. The first thing we do,
I understand because over the years
you can, but the bigger picture is like for myself and you and stuff like that do videos and whatever. We hear that about a budget, bang, straight in the room on a camera. No, I've had enough. Why have we got a £50 million budget? You don't actually wait a minute, digest it. Let's see what the actual bigger picture is. Because all of us that moaned about £50 million were made to look stupid when we spent 72 million on Nicola Pepe. Right now, yes, the payments were staged, but that was still all within a window where we were told you ain't getting anything more than £50 million. So we don't know what the club are doing. Our budget might be 60, 70 million pound, for example, but they might have deals in place where they can, like Nicola Pepe, chop it up and stretch it out. So
do you trust the board, Edu and Raul and that to make the right signings this summer? Last summer we were crying out for a commanding centre back. They didn't do it, did they?
No, you listen, Robbie. You say that we've had this conversation, right? And you say that, yeah. But let's go and have a look at our transfer window. No, listen. Let's go and have a look at our transfer window, yeah. Because I can go back to videos that yourself and I've done when the window was done, and we were all like, "Yeah, it would have been nice to get that centre back in." But wait, don't give me that finger, But what did we also say? We also understood that we'd spent so much money and built in so many other areas that was something that was going to be, it's part of the process, because you ain't going to do it in one window.
Is that a mistake that worries you slightly? Because we did all say that. We were happy. I remember last season I was happy in general with the transfer window, probably because we've had so many useless transfer windows over the years. It was nice to see a real marquee signing coming in Pepe. I always thought Tierney was going to be good, and he's now proving his worth, right? Martinelli was an excellent signing. However, we looked at Luiz and we said, well, all right, we get it, because, maybe there's not a lot of money left. And there's a Saliba one, all right, we understood it. He had to go back to come back. But we all said at the time, though, shouldn't we really have gone and got a centre? Shouldn't that have been the priority? And it weren't. And again, this season, we suffered for that.
Yeah, we have suffered. But what I will say as well is that
you trust these guys that in the summer, they will get done the right signings for Arteta.
Yeah, I trust that they will get the right signings because I think we've got the right manager. I'm telling you now, if Mikel Arteta was in charge of us for the whole season, we would have made top four.
Top four?
I'm saying it now. We would have made top four. Don't think that any team above us has had a great season. Let's not get it twisted, all right? for all of these teams that are above us seeming to think that they've had such an unbelievable season for getting in the Champions League. First and foremost, your objective is to get into the competition that you used to mock us about getting into season after season. How have your standards fallen? You're now clinging on to achieve the same things that we used to do, and you called us embarrassing. Yeah? Some of these teams need to look at the bigger picture, which is right at the top. Go and have a look at how many points you're behind Liverpool. Don't look at how many points you're in front of us, because we're not the benchmark. We're rebuilding. We're trying to get to where we want to be again. So the fact that you're comparing your seasons to ours, oh, look, we're 7-8 points ahead of Arsenal. Yeah, but you're about fucking 40 behind Liverpool. So does it make you feel better that your inadequate season, you know, oh, you know what? We're above Arsenal. We can banter their fans. AFTV and chill. Let's get the popcorn out. It makes us feel all so much better about it. Get the magic sock out. No, bigger picture is right at the top. You're about 40 odd points behind the champions. That's where I'm looking. I'm not looking at Manchester United or Chelsea or Spurs or anything. I know we've had a shit season. I know we've been embarrassing. I know that our results have been poor. But I'm not sitting there and going, well, you know what? We're only like 7-8 points behind United. Or, yeah, we're not that far behind Chelsea. Just a couple of wins here or there. We'd be in contention. No, I'm looking at the top. Look how far we're behind Liverpool. We're a million miles behind them. And Man City. That's where I'm looking, not the bunch in front of us. So could we have got top four this season? Of course we could have. Of course we could have. Apart from Liverpool and Manchester City, everyone else is shit. You know, the only two teams that can hold their head up throughout this whole season, right, in terms of that, of that mix where we are, Sheffield United and Wolves.
And Leicester.
Well, Leicester, even they bottled it. They fallen apart. And they fell apart long before we went into coronavirus. This was happening long before that. They had a great first half to the season, and then they've just started to falter. Well, that doesn't matter. A season's, what they say? It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's like running the London Marathon, getting halfway around and going, boy, I was on the same lap time as an Olympian like Mo Farah or whatever. But now I'm knackered. I can't do the last half. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? And that's the same thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So Leicester, no, they've had a poor season as well because they've just fallen at the wayside. I think it was before lockdown. I think at one point they were about 15 points or so ahead of Manchester United. They were about 15 points ahead of Manchester United at one point before lockdown. And then they started faltering before lockdown. And then it continued. And thereafter. Now, they have to rely on getting a win against Manchester United on Sunday to get into the Champions League. And it will be massive for them. Don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that anyone below Liverpool and Man City, bar Sheffield United and Wolves, cannot tell me they've had a good season. It's poor. They've been poor. Look at the bigger picture. Stop worrying about us. Because we know we've been
worried about us.
No, but they are, because that's what they do. No, because that's all they do. That's all they talk about. Oh, yeah, but look where Arsenal are in 10th for this. All they do is conveniently forget who's at the top. Why are you bantering us in 10th when you're behind your biggest rivals at the top? Your two biggest rivals, and you know what I'm getting at. Your two biggest rivals are there at the top, the pinnacle. All it takes now would be Man City to win the Champions League as well. Can you imagine that for Manchester United fans in one season? You've had to watch Liverpool win the league, Man City win the Champions League, even Leeds United have won the championship. Do you know what I mean? Everybody that Manchester United don't like is winning stuff. But it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, one from us. It's
cool. You go and get fourth place. You go get fourth place. Because even if you are in the Champions League, you will get embarrassed next season. Because you know
the thing is at United though, they are building a good team. We need to be worried because this again is another reason why we really got to get our act together in the transfer market because United, they brought in Bruno Fernandes. They've got a very good squad. United, when you look at they've got a very good squad. Huh?
Mr. Penalty, yeah? Take away his set pieces. You know what I mean?
Nah, come on, you don't. He's a good
man. Listen, you take away his set pieces and he's John Shelby. Done. Do you know what I mean? Done.
Oh. He's
Listen. Fully gonna rattle you.
You love turning fans against you, don't you?
Oh, fully rattling. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? Listen, at the end of the day, Robbie, man, look.
He's not no John Joe Shelby, man. He's a very, very good player.
Listen, I'll be honest, he's not John Joe Shelby because he's got hair. All right? But the fact is, is that, you know, they're a million miles away. And they will be. And I'm sticking to what I'm saying, Robbie. I'm sticking to what I'm saying.
Hold on.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not complete next season at Manchester United.
I said that this season. He's completing it. Listen, right? At the end of the day, you're right. Man United are a million miles off of Liverpool. But at the moment, we're quite far off United, which is worrying, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, the squads of some of them other teams around, look what Chelsea are doing. Timo Werner, they might get Havertz. You know, they're building a really, really good squad for next season. Yep. Leicester will probably go and get some decent players to add to their squad because that's where they fought. Their squad's not been good enough. Their first 11 is very good, but their squad depth, when it's been tested after the whole lockdown thing has come up short. Mm-hmm. Wolves have got a very good team, but they'll probably go and get some better players. It's going to be really tough, and if we don't get this transfer, you know, summer window right, honestly, we could be in 10th again. So
I know.
I've really, you know, Tottenham as well. I haven't even mentioned. So, you know, we've really got to get our, we've really got whatever above us though. So we've got to get.
I don't care. They're not finishing above us no more. Mikel's here now to take over. That's it. That's it. I'm backing my man. Do you know what I mean?
But I'm just saying.
Mikel is the man. I'm telling you. You're backing him. Give him the money.
You're backing him, and the Kroenke's backing him. That's what we need to. That's why
he said that they are. He said that they are, and I'll trust him.
Well,
he's got the hair of a man that you can trust. Robbie, he's got the hair of a man you can trust. Yeah?
He's not going to say, listen.
Never, listen, I would only not trust him if he was bald.
You don't trust him. I don't trust him with hats all the time.
You shut up, because I forgot about the text that you sent me yesterday. You can shut up.
What was that?
Yeah. I don't like you, but I still work with you. Yeah, you fool.
Listen, that was brilliant. You laughing, weren't you? You was laughing your head off when you saw that.
Yeah, and then he dashed my phone across the room.
But listen, you know what I mean? This is the thing. I'm backing him, you're backing him, but RV's guy's going to back him. And that guy through the plane, Brandon makes a good point. If they don't back him, they need to go. They've got to back him this summer.
Yeah, I understand that. Sorry.
We can all see, or nearly all of us can see, that we've got a very talented manager, but we need to back him. The other thing I want to ask you is that obviously going into the last game of the season doesn't mean much. That game doesn't really. Now we're playing against Watford. Actually, by the way, that could relegate Watford. Poor Troy Deeney. I mean, he would be. I don't think Arsenal. There's a lot of Arsenal fans willing the team to send him down after the Cahola he said a few years ago.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. I've not even. Do you know what? We talk most weeks, and about games and football and stuff like that, but I've left him alone. I've not spoke to him. This is not even a situation that I can banter. It's like people always say to me about with Troy Deeney, like he's a friend. He's become a really good friend of my family. And like, I'm gutted if they get relegated for him because I know how much he puts into what he does. He gives everything.
But
I want Arsenal to win.
The thing is about it, right, is what team did we... Because obviously the cup final is now the be-all and end-all of the season. We can't finish any lower than 10th, no matter even if we do lose.
Yeah.
We finish higher, we're still not going to get into any European places. Now, me personally, we were talking about this the other night. There were some of the fans I was talking to the other night said we should still play our strongest team. I personally don't think we should. I don't think we should play Aubameyang. He can't get the golden boot. He's not going to score. I can't see. Well, I don't know. It's Watford. You never know. But I wouldn't play Aubameyang in that game. I'd be resting players for that FA Cup final. Chelsea have got a really tough game. They got to win their final game against Wolves. I think they got. So they've got a really tough game. They had a really tough game against Liverpool the other night as well, right? For me, rest up your players. Rest the main players anyway. Kieran Tierney, who's had injury problems this year, why play him against Watford? For me, no chance. I'd even go as far to say Martinez in goal. I wouldn't play him. I'll play Matt Macy. Why is he getting injured?
I see. Yeah,
David Luiz, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play Lacazette. Serious, that's me, right? I'm just thinking that's a nothing game as far as I'm concerned. I know the integrity of the league is important. There's still good enough players to bring in.
Yeah, but hold on. They can shove the integrity thing up their arse, as far as I'm concerned, because they're players for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, so
it's not like Arsenal have just gone outside the Emirates and grabbed anyone outside the gunner's shop or whatever and gone, hey, come in and have a game.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's
but at the end of the day,
Villa's manager is going to be saying, I want Arsenal to put out the strongest team because,
fuck off, man.
Team. But for me, I don't know. I'd be resting up most of the play. And as I said, especially guys like Tierney, who has had injury problems this season. I don't want those guys playing. I don't know about you, and I want to win every game, but the game I really want to win is the FA Cup final.
Yeah, of course, massively.
What would you do?
I would rest because, like you said, Chelsea, they got no option but to play their full strength side.
They got to go hard, yeah.
Yeah, because, they lose, because I was looking at the permutations, and if Chelsea lose, Manchester United and Leicester can play out a draw.
Yeah.
And both of them are in the Champions League, and it's Chelsea that drops into the Europa.
They have to win. They cannot take a chance in that game. They got to go for it.
Yeah,
and they're up against Wolves, who've got a chance of, if they win, of getting into the Europa League, which is a big deal for Wolves. So they'll be going for it, and it's away from home. So it's a massive game just going to take. We've seen with the last two games we've had how much really tough games against real top teams take out of you, even if you win. So let those players put their feet up and concentrate on the FA Cup final.
What I would do is that I would probably play Matt Macy in goal.
Yeah.
I would play the three at the back. I would probably play Rob Holding, Socrates, Kolasinac.
Yeah.
Wing backs, I would play Cedric because he's cup tied anyway. Left wing back. Ooh, I don't know. That's probably a sticky one.
Probably Saka because he might not start.
Yeah, maybe. The two in the middle, I'd play Torreira.
Yeah.
And Joe Willock.
Yep, I'd take Xhaka out.
And Danny Ceballos.
Yeah.
And then the attacking three, I'd have Reece Nelson if he's recovered from his minor strain.
Yeah.
Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the other one would possibly be in the attacking third. Maybe we might have to bring Ozil in for a game.
Yeah, give Ozil a game. Give him a give him a game. We'll give him a game. But then I suppose if they're trying to get rid of him, I think the thing with Socrates, because it's been really weird how he hasn't been playing at all. And I was thinking about it the other day, is it that they want to sell Socrates, obviously, at the end? They don't want him to get injured either.
God knows.
But I'm certainly thinking, to me, none of those top main players for me should be playing. I'm And I was talking to some of the fans after the game the other night, and they were moaning about the Villa performance, and they were moaning about we should be going with our strongest team. And I'm like, it makes no sense. What have we? That game means nothing, Watford. Not going to be looking back at the end of the season and say, oh, we beat Watford, final game of the season, but we lost the FA Cup final. Keep those players back for the final. We got a little bit of a slight, it's a slight advantage over Chelsea and the fact that they've got such a tough last game. We don't. Use the advantage. That's what I'd be doing. Do not risk any of your top players getting an injury because you won't forgive yourself. That would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watford game, you know what I mean? And then even with playing a team with a lot of, not first team players in it, they should still be good enough to beat Watford. And not only that, those players, you say to them, go out there and show me why you should be playing in the final. Go and show me that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the other guys as my main guys for that final. However, this is what I'd be saying if I was Arteta in training. However, I'm not 100% set every position yet. So if you go out there against Watford and you put in an excellent performance, you'll be starting the cup final. Or likelihood is you'll be coming off the bench. We've got 5 subs.
Yeah.
You go there and put in a horrible performance, you're not getting nowhere near the team. That's what was so disappointing about that Villa game the other day, because so many players, it's like they didn't put themselves forward to say to Arteta, come on, man. They didn't go like that old saying, go and knock on the manager's door.
Yeah.
I play.
Yeah.
Those players who played against Villa will be tiptoeing past the manager's door so that he doesn't hear them. They'll go, oi, Torreira. Oh, shit. He wants to see me. You know what I mean? No, you should be going there and beating down the door and say, yeah, what's going on, man? How comes I want to play? Look at the performances I put in the last couple of games. So, but I don't know. It's because to me, that last game doesn't mean nothing. The funny thing is, it's been a terrible season during the league, but how big would it be if Mikel Arteta could go on and win that FA Cup? It'd be huge.
Absolutely massive. And it gives us European football, bit of extra money, and maybe the difference between certain players signing or not. So it's huge. Huge.
I don't want to get into, because I think I'm going to do this with you after the FA Cup. So that's who stays, who goes.
Yeah, let's wait till then.
We're going to wait till after the FA. Yeah, that's got a bearing on it. We're going to wait till after the FA Cup too. So I don't want to discuss that. And I don't want to even discuss the FA Cup because we're going to look forward to that next week on the podcast. We're going to do a special on that. So we're going to look forward to that then. So I don't even want to do that as well. Right?
Do you know what I think we should do as well? Because I've got to say, because a lot of people have been saying in the comments about why are me and you not next to each other doing these anymore again? Because and I've tried saying to people, I
told you yesterday.
Yeah, because you don't like me. I tried saying to people, I said, look, because obviously we live far away from where the office actually is, and I do, and I've got school holidays as well with kids and off and stuff like that, and they were off anyway because of COVID and whatever.
So next week though, we're gonna do a
yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Maybe we should do a proper one.
We're gonna do a proper one.
I can give you one of these.
We'll be back in it. Obviously, next week's podcast is going to be an FA Cup special, so you guys have all got to make sure you be tuned into that one as well. And we're really, really looking forward to it. Watford, we're gonna send Deeney down. What's your prediction?
Oh, don't, mate. Don't do that to me, man. Don't. I won't be able to talk to him for weeks, man. Oh, mate.
Man. It's football.
I know it's football. And he more than anyone will understand that. You know,
I actually sent him a message of congratulations when they beat Liverpool. But since the lockdown, the other thing is as well, you know what? If it weren't for Deeney, I'd be like, good riddance to Watford. What they done to Nigel Pearson, with 2 games to go, sacking him, is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in football.
Yeah. In an ideal world, what I want is for Arsenal to win the game 1-0, so that we don't dent their goal difference badly, and then Aston Villa lose 3-0. I think they'd have to lose 2 or 3-0, and then Watford stay up. That's the ideal scenario behind it. Arsenal get the win, Watford stay up. Job done, isn't it?
What do you think is going to happen?
I think Watford are getting relegated.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat us at home.
No.
Yeah, the Emirates. And
the thing is, is that I know you can say that teams fight for their lives or this and that, but I'm just not seeing anything from Watford that makes me go, you know what, they're going to really turn up in this game. Like, I think that the fact that I think we underestimate how important their home fans are. And, you know, it's never been an easy place to go to, and yet they just get pulled apart when they're, you know, at Vicarage Road at the moment with no fans there. You know, ask Liverpool how difficult it is to go there with fans. I'll tell you. But, yeah, they've just capitulated. I thought they were going to have a really good season based on last year because they had a great season and, you know, FA Cup final.
You know their problem is, though? They keep sacking managers and they keep doing it. They've got away with it. Sometimes it's worked. This season, it's caught up on them. And as I said, the sacking of Nigel Pearson is one of the most ridiculous sackings I have ever seen. And they might pay the ultimate price. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it is what it is, man. I think we win the game. I'm going to go. I think it'd be I think they're battle, but 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah. On the flip side, if Watford do get relegated, it's going to be Watford against Luton next season. Mate, I had some of my mates message me yesterday when Luton got like safe and everything, and they got their survival in the Championship, and they were messaging like, make sure you send them, you know what's down and weekend, and I was like, oh no. And it's like, I was like, oh, dear God, man. I said,
something for Dini to get his teeth into.
Jesus, last time Luton played Watford away, I think, Jesus, most of the people I know that go to games got banning orders. It's like, yeah, that's a rivalry, man. I don't think people might not know about rivalries outside of the Premier League, but yeah, that's a definite rivalry.
Yeah, maybe year because I fancy us. I think we'll win.
Yeah, I'm going for 1-0 win.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you guys think? Let us know. Thank you for watching the podcast and listening to the podcast today. Remember, it's available on all formats. Don't forget who do you think should be the player of the season? I know there's no Arsenal players in there, but should it be Jordan Henderson? Should it be De Bruyne? As DT says, click on the link and jump into the 888 Sports. And let them know what you think. I'm actually on that video as well, so I'm giving my opinion. So make sure, yeah, it's a great video because I'm in it. Right, so make sure you check it out. Make sure you check it out. And you know, next week we will be back together again. The team will be back together again. We're going to be doing an FA Cup special. FA Cup special. So make sure you check that out. It's all about the FA Cup next week, and we're really, really looking forward to it. Despite the terrible season we've had, still a chance to win silverware. Let's do it.
Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.